we can rest them here. So more like first aid, caring for them if they have any agents that needs to get food. So basically, working so basically make it more accessible for them. So because you expect when you have a crowd, you can have all sorts of things can happen, and then so that would be it. And of course, the toilet and the bathroom, and Sunderland brochure as well.
So you won't have got it, or you've got a business here, accounting.
Yeah, business, yeah. Accounting, globalization, units, and right here you have books here.
Yeah, that's
more of the business book right here in front of you.
Yeah.
Right here. And look at this, Sunderland brochures are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, changing lives. That's what it says.
Do you have any journals?
We will basically subscribe to journals.
I understand that.
Yeah. We'll subscribe to journals, and we'll get them there. And of course, the manager will be there to make sure everything that is needed is ordered.
And when we go to the boardroom, you let us know how many PCs you've got.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Because they can pick up the books, they can do that. But they also have reading area. We'll show you.
Will students have opening times? Access 7 days a week?
We are planning to do that. But let's see, the number of students will dictate that. For the main time, it's just Monday to Friday.
Sure.
And then Saturday for extra curricular activity.
1,500 students.
Yes. Timetable across the board. And then, of course, as you know, we're trying to implement 3 intakes per year: January, February, May, June, September, October, and 1 hour lecture, 2 hour workshops, so 3 hours per group.
Okay. And students can borrow these, yeah?
Borrow this book. Yes, and they can also access everything online. We're using PDF Drive. I don't know if you know PDF Drive.
Sure.
Thousands of books or millions of books are there, free for all of them to use.
So your 3 intakes, will that correspond to the university intake dates?
Because we have 4 in London.
Yeah, I mean, we've got them.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Library. And of course, that is a screen that can be used.
Are these offices or these
Little offices and digital offices, and also can be used for teaching space as we need them.
Are you doing any courses at present here?
We immediately now, this week, no. Yes, but we are going to start by June.
Right.
So we're recruiting now.
For potentially Sunderland or other?
Both of them.
Right.
And of course, breakout room, meeting rooms, as things go. All right? Thank you.
How many classrooms could you have?
We could have potentially on each floor.
Each floor?
Each floor we could have 3 to 4 classrooms on each floor. Yeah, as the case may be. But on the 4th floor we can seat. We have more like a theater room, which we show you more. Bigger hall. Okay. So here is basically making sure everyone is fully adapted. Because if we don't teach IT, we lose the game.
Sure.
Just behind this one.
Once we start looking at the middle of the board, like that topic, we will have panel.
It's one thing for Derek, it's the dominoes.
Don't worry, we'll take you there. Dominoes.
I love my pieces.
That's the screen we go over there as well. Alright? Alright? Excellent. Yeah, thank you. Right, so, and this has been, screen painted, all fixed. Okay, so this is where we can do. Also, sometimes for executive courses, we use here so we can also get everything on the floor. Because we have the banks, we have the FRS, this will be in training. We have 300 that need to be trained in Akure in May. 300 on international principle of international taxation. So that's executive education. So the board come in here, they hide up here, and then do it. Yeah, I think it's very important. Because sometimes in Nigeria, hierarchy is a very important thing. You separate the boys from the men.
Dedicated, people, particularly students, that I have ever met from across the world, and I mean that, truthfully. So I'm excited about this potential partnership with Labs and the University of Sunderland. We teach almost 20,000 students across the world, both at our campus in Sunderland. We have a campus in London and a campus in Hong Kong, but we also have 49 different partnerships all around the world, similar to what we are trying to establish here with Labs. As far east as Singapore and Malaysia, and as far west as Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica, and everywhere else in between. So we're very dedicated to providing you here in Nigeria with a UK experience without actually coming to the UK. And we hope that you'll join us very soon. Thank you.
Cheers!
Now start clapping.
1, 2, cheers! Good.
Stop now. When I go back to England, I'm going to show my boss that video. I'm going to say, I need a pay rise. Students love me.
I just will be started off.
Yes, sure.
15% tax.
Sure. So yeah, I want to echo Ian's sentiments. This is my second time to Lagos. I came last year. And out of all the countries I've travelled to, I'm not just saying it, I love the people, I love the food, and today I love the sun. No rain today, which is very nice. The University of Sunderland has many attributes. I feel as though that I'm in a privileged position. I've worked at the university many years, but I always look upon my job as though I've worked there only 1 year, because there are a lot of opportunities. And when you guys invest your time with the University of Sunderland, as prospective students, you will be open to a labyrinth of opportunities to bridge that gap between theory and practice. And it's very much a dual relationship. The academics from Nigeria and the university will team up together to imbue you with knowledge and experience. All we want you to do is to come to class, interact, and start to think about how the theories you talk about in class and the examples work out there in that complex world. And when you start understanding that complex world in simple steps, you can feel the personal growth. Now the qualification is nice to have, but it's not everything. It's about you finding out who you are and where you want to get to in life. Almost, you've heard the singing Madonna? I'm not getting an answer there. Have you heard?
Sing a song. Remind them.
You sing Vogue and I'll do that. You know Madonna. Madonna constantly reinvents herself. When you come on the educational programs with the University of Sunderland, it's an opportunity to reinvent yourself. Do what you wanted to do before, but this is a great platform to grow. But the qualification is nice, and the graduation is equally nice, either in Nigeria or you come over to the University of Sunderland for graduation. But it is getting a job or promotion. It's a ticket to make your life better and more fulfilling. So always remember that. It's not just about coming to class. It's about what you learn, how can you apply it in the commercial environment, commercial arena. We'll help you, but you've got to engage with that.
Just a quick one. Thank you so much for making it this morning, and obviously looking forward to more bigger classes. Let me use this phrase to say it's a privilege for me as a person to bring in the University of Sunderland to Nigeria. This will be the first University of UK actually establishing its foot rightly in the ground in Nigeria. And to make that happen, it's taking us almost 4 years, no doubt. But we believe this is the beginning of a new meaning. Why is that so? They say this many years ago: a small group of committed individuals can change the world. Let me say this once again. Nigeria you have today, you don't even know what it means. The rest of the world see Nigeria as a pinnacle. This is the future, just in case you don't know. Africa is the future. Africa have currently 18-year-old populations that is bigger, more than anywhere else in the world. In the UK, they are 70, 80 years old, more and more, and then less is being born because people are living single life. Australia, Canada, the same. So Nigeria have that population. But guess what? Not just the population. You have the resources. Gold, diamond, oil, what else? And the people are also the resources that we have. And that is what is actually working for us. Let me tell you this, just in case you don't know. If you come to the UK to study, you meet Nigerians as your lecturers. Yes. If you come to the UK to be treated as patients, who is treating you? Nigerians. The NHS will not survive without Nigerians being there. So there's a huge collaboration between Nigeria and UK. And guess what? We use the same time now. Same time in the UK, same time in London. And guess what? How many hours does it take you to travel from here to Ibadan? 1.5 hours or less if there's no traffic. From here to UK, 6 hours. And from here to Abakaliki, how many hours on the road? Same distance. So you're here. But let me put it this way. I said this before, that a small group of committed individuals can change the world. Derek mentioned something about bridging the gap between theory and practice. It's not just about education. Sorry, qualification. It's about what? Education. What none see is a strategy for which victory is involved. This great country of ours needs to be moved forward, not by the people who are currently leading the country, but those of you who are coming. The last election, I won't go there, I won't go into politics, but the last election shows that the youth have woken up to reality and they want to change the narratives. Say amen to that. Amen. Yes, you want to change things, and we are here to work with you to make that happen. So I'm so privileged to have Ian and Derek and the University of Sunderland wanting to make that happen. So this is not just about qualification, guys. It's about real education. So welcome to our world, and we hope we go places together. Thank you. But when you go home, speak to your friends, speak to your brothers, speak to your sisters. Those who want to go overseas, yes, there's a limit. Let me put it this way. Do you know that UK as a whole is slightly bigger than Lagos? UK as a whole. Do you know that? So when you're refused a visa, for a reason, because if we allow 10,000 from Nigeria today, 10,000 from Pakistan tomorrow, 10,000 from India next week, where are they going to stay? It has not been built that rapidly. So the refuser is also a strategy. So don't think, oh, they don't like me. Oh, no. We have to say no to many people because there's no space. So now there's a space here. And I think, look at this building. And look at what we can do, not only in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and many other places. And the good thing, they're committed to support the dream. So thank you all for witnessing today as a day. Thank you so much. Question, guys?
Dr. Larry, I want to start with you. Thank you so much for keeping the vision burning. Thank you so much for holding up education in such a way that should have been existing. And I'm glad to witness this in my generation. I'm glad that Labs has reignited this practice and in a manner that has brought in more partnership like the University of Sunderland and many more to come. We see what you're doing and we really appreciate it. On behalf of Africa that I represent, I say thank you.
Thank you.
Just to give a sound background, a brief background, I'm the president and founder of the largest entrepreneurship organization in Africa, called Africa's Young Entrepreneurs, a special advisor on entrepreneurship to the Nigerian government, and the chairman of the University Entrepreneurship Agency. Fortunately for me, I founded the evening as well. For me, this gathering and this meeting is quite, I'm excited. And there's always a major concern I always have when it comes to education in Nigeria. And the concern is usually when you don't make it, there's a particular mark. I didn't study in Nigeria, but when you don't make it, a particular code of mark, then the institutions and the university, they offer you something. So when we start employing, I have about more than 34 staffs across the world. When I noticed with my 68 staff in Nigeria, when you start employing, you see people reading what they're not supposed to be reading. And you ask them, why did you do this course? They're like, no, the university gave it to me. You know, you find the most ridiculous courses ever. And like, why did you study this? Like, there are some things I heard for the first time in my life. I'm not saying people shouldn't be there, but people with the interest of that kind of study should be there. Not somebody who wants to practice law and give the person animal crop science. And then she's done with school and she doesn't understand why she did what she did. And when I asked, is it that because their parents wanted them to go to university and there was no space and that was what they have offered? I must confess that this has ruined this country a lot. We have been left with a lot of people that are not employable. Because not only have we diverted them away from their passion, we have dropped on their laps what they are not interested in. And that has been a major concern when it comes to the education aspect. And I'm glad that Labs has come in with the University of Sunderland to at least give people what they want. They can see the courses, and I'm sure there will always be room for students who want to take this course. So for me, this is an exciting moment for me. Entrepreneurship, on the other hand, like I always say, education is the key. We all agree. For me, entrepreneurship is the door. So we have a lot of people in Nigeria that, like you said, thousands of them might come to the UK, taking a lot of keys, PhD in this, master in this, BS in this, MS in this, but there's no door to open. So you find a lot of people walking around with a bunch of CVs, a bunch of keys, without the door. And that's what the entrepreneurship village is about. Why are you giving them the keys? The entrepreneurship village gives them the door, which is entrepreneurship. So that even if you graduate as a lawyer and you do not find a job as a lawyer, you can open your law firm and start. And that's the combination and the reason for our partnership. I'm glad to see today, and of course, welcome to Nigeria. I want to rest conversations for now, and I hope that there will be more to do or drink during the champagne period. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I worked for the University of Sunderland until last year. So I work as a staff of 6 years, but I also work as a partner with the University of Sunderland from 2004 to 2010 in the UK, running the undergraduate and postgraduate courses. And for me to not only work with them as a partner and then join them fully as a staff, is I love what they do. The strapline for University of Sunderland is changing lives. University that's changing lives. So if you look at what they do, the background in the Northeast actually says a lot. They have one of the best forensic centers in the world, in Sunderland, and over 100 years in education. So they have what it takes. And so if we're partnering with such an institution that have that legacy, it means a lot. And then for me, having worked with them, I know the in and out of it. Because if you want to serve God and you don't know God, how can you serve Him? So if you want to promote a product, you must be proud of that product. You must know the product. You eat, drink the product. For me, I know the product like the back of my hand. So selling it to other people is so easy. He is my mentor on my professorial journey. And I've never even met him. We only spoke on the phone and everything of that nature, but he agreed to mentor me. That is what we do. The university mentor people and want to help your career. 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, 2018, I believe it was, or 19, we came together recruiting students when I was still there full time. I gave up my job at Sunderland to actually pursue this dream, to make sure they have this program on the ground, because I saw the potential. My colleagues went to Hong Kong to see the establishment, how they were doing. And then they went to India recruiting students. Running the academy itself, I've been to several countries, recruiting India, Mumbai, having different agents in those areas. In Pakistan, I've traveled all parts of Pakistan, driving from Islamabad, Rawalpindi to Lahore, on the road 5 hours, driving, looking at Kashmir on the side. So I've been to all places when it comes to that. So the passion is not just about education, but it's how can Nigeria be one of the best leading countries in Africa. I went to Singapore, spent 7 weeks in Singapore, a country with over just about 5.2 million people. And teaching entrepreneurship in that country is a miracle. They have young entrepreneurs, what the president is doing in Nigeria, they have it there. And I learned there is no exam in any of their courses. It's assignment-based, trust between lecturers and students. So, and I see, having grown up in this country, witness the Civil War in the 60s, and then start and spend over 40 years abroad, and see what happens there. this gentleman here, colleagues of mine, studying in the UK, came back to work with PZ as a marketing manager for PZ. He knows, so all of us are coming together as like-minded. This man here, the director of media, 25 years we've been on this journey together. We've been interviewed on Ben TV in London. So the dream has been there. It is, how can we change the narrative? I mean, the best group of educated individual in the world is based in the US, are Nigerians. Are we together? So why Nigerians have not moved from where it is today to where it should be is my biggest concern. You have the resources, you have the manpower, and you have the space. What is holding you back? So we need to learn soft skills to help the world to see that we are here to make it happen in Africa and the rest of the world. So that is the passion, is to change the dream that we are looking for everywhere to see that it can be obtained here. And for them to agree to say, Larry, would people stop coming to London to study our courses? No. It will even make it even more better for them because we will do all the groundwork from here. Year 1, year 2 is done, year 3 is done over there. So you have plenty of time, less administration, but more money for you. And having a presence in such a big building in Riyadh is one of those things. So to answer your question, my dream for education in Nigeria is to change from qualification to education.
The university adheres very closely to the quality assurance process. We're very mindful of student experience. So part of our visit here and other visits is to assess, does the building offer the same facilities as what students would be exposed to if they would come to the UK and study? Now that has various attributes. We look at the size of the building, the classrooms, the levels of IT support, the library facilities, journal access, so students aren't relying purely on textbooks, they're using academic journals within that, library resources, archives of lectures, seminars, workshops that have been recorded at the university, and how we could disseminate that into a classroom. Equally so, we also look at the employability, the infrastructure. So in addition to getting the University of Sunderland modules, we look at how the infrastructure, the organisation will help students secure those jobs. And I want to emphasise that it's not just any job, it's a job with career progression. And that's what we monitor our alumni students, our existing students. And from what they feed back to us, that is fed into the curriculum. Equally so, with the building, the quality assurance infrastructure is we ensure and we will regulate a thorough induction program for our students. We have what we call staff-student liaison committees that will be using excellent facilities such as this boardroom, where they will talk to the tutors here in Lagos, but also by possibly face-to-face, certainly via Microsoft Teams, about their learning experience. So it will be closely monitored. But I must admit, certainly from my point of view, I'm very impressed with the facilities, the potential capacity, and also the quality of the academic team, which will be populated into the various classrooms, also supported with University of Sunderland academics. And they aren't just British academics, they are academics from around the world, so enriching the learning forum.
I think you've covered everything. I'm really impressed with the campus, the infrastructure, the teachers, the lecturers, and just to touch on a point Derek mentioned about closely monitoring the delivery here. That's not to do with lack of trust with the partner, it's simply to ensure for the student that the quality remains high quality. And that's what we want to pride ourselves on. So I think Derek,
Lagos State government, and they've paid a visit and to see what we have. We've renewed for another 5 years for them to see, and they've also told us after this visit they want a report sent to them. We've also registered with the NUC. NUC says that they are only concerned with the university and awarding one degree in Nigeria. But since the University of Sunderland are awarding this degree, they have no autonomy over them. But they will need us to register with them. That is through an expression of interest, which we have done. We've expressed our interest to work with them. So we are termed by them as a teaching center for the University of Sunderland because the qualification come from them. So they will be the one to do the quality assurance, but they were wanting the qualification, and then we have to let them know that we are here and pay a fee for that as well.
We're very experienced with that. We've got 21 partners around the world with this type of setup, over 45 different centres. As far east as Singapore, Malaysia, far west is Trinidad and Jamaica, and we've got one in Botswana, Uzbekistan, Sri Lanka, you name it, we've probably got a partnership somewhere.